meeting to order now. Councilman Poole, lead us in the pledge, please.
Face flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And call the roll.
Councilman Poole.
Here.
Councilman Cotton. Councilman Littles. Councilman Watson.
Here.
Councilman Barton.
Here.
Mayor Lovelace.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Approval of the minutes from last meeting.
I make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve the minutes by Councilman Poole, seconded by Councilman Watson. Is there any discussion? Councilman Poole.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
Minutes are approved.
I do want to welcome our visitors today, although we don't have a large crowd today. I'm glad to see those that are here. Approval of the agenda.
Mayor, the council has a copy, and there's a copy on the wall for the audience. One change that I'm aware of that needs to be made to the agenda is add an item G number 1 and call it Downtown Boardwalk Project. G1, Downtown Boardwalk Project. Are there any other changes that need to be made to the agenda?
And that'll be introduced by you.
Hearing no other changes that need to be made to the agenda, all those who would like to approve it as amended, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. The agenda is approved as amended.
Under old business, we have none. And next item is approval of the accounts payable.
May I offer a motion that we'll approve accounts payable?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Watson, seconded by Councilman Barton to approve accounts payable. Is there any discussion? Councilman Poole.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes. Accounts payable are approved.
And we have a mayoral appointment, and I want to appoint Lou Nager to the Flood Variance Board. Appointed a committee chaired by Councilman Watson to fill a vacancy on the Brewton Housing Board, so I call on Councilman Watson.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to nominate Mr. Robert Hardy for the vacancy on the Brewton Housing Board.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Watson to nominate Robert Hardy for the Brewton Housing Board, seconded by Councilman Barton. Is there any discussion? Councilman Poole.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes, and Robert Hardy is approved to be on the Brewton Housing Board. The good news is the city has been awarded a land use or a land and water conservation grant. Those would be federal funds that will be funneled down to our level by ADECA. ADECA has some paperwork requirements that they want us to have on file in order to properly administrate these funds. One is standards of conduct that deals with our purchasing, dispersing, contracting, bidding procedures. Another one would deal with how we get the money, or who gets the money and who gets to officially be authorized to spend it. And then the other one requires that we would maintain proper records to the satisfaction of the government. The first one, that is a standard resolution that's required by ADECA, is for standards of conduct, and I have a copy here prepared if the council would so approve that today.
Steve, you need immediate consideration?
No, sir.
Not on that one?
This is just a resolution. We just
Okay.
need a motion.
I'll
and
make a
second.
motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Barton, seconded by Councilman Watson, to approve resolution number 15-0323 dealing with standards of conduct required by ADECA. Is there any discussion? Councilman Poole,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes and resolution number 15-0323 is approved. The second one that is required by ADECA deals with procurement procedures and basically says that the city council acknowledges that we need to establish the right procurement procedures and recognizes that as city clerk, I can sign the documents and administrate the money.
Make a motion to approve 15-0323-1.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Barton to approve resolution number 15-0323-1, seconded by Councilman Watson. Is there any discussion? Councilman Poole,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes and resolution number 15-0323-1 is approved. The third resolution is our pledge to maintain appropriate records that would satisfy the powers to be, whether on the state level or the federal level.
Offer
Make-
motion.
go ahead.
You want to get it?
Go ahead.
Offer motion to approve resolution number 15-0323-2.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Watson to approve resolution number 15-0323-2. Motion by Councilman Watson, seconded by Councilman Barton. Is there any discussion? Councilman Poole,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes, and resolution number 15-0323-2 is approved.
I guess the next item we have is the voting delegates
Yes, sir.
for the Alabama League Municipalities meeting.
And what we're required to do is establish one who will be the primary voting delegate, then we have to establish one to be a first alternate and a second alternate.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve you as a voting delegate with Fred Barton as the first alternate and Joe Watson as alternate number 2.
Motion by Councilman Poole that the mayor be elected to be the primary voting delegate, with Councilman Barton being the first alternate and Councilman Watson being the second alternate. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Poole to establish these voting delegates, seconded by Councilman Watson. Is there any discussion? Councilman Poole,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes and these voting delegates are established.
I guess the next item is the downtown boardwalk project.
Yes, sir, and I'd like to call on Russell Holland from DMD Engineers.
Mayor, Council, good afternoon. On behalf of DMD and myself being a hometown person, we appreciate the opportunity to work on this project with the city. We recently took bids on the downtown boardwalk project that runs behind the business district along Highway 31. This is a federally funded project. It is a project that runs through the Alabama Department of Transportation. The project consists of funding that is an 80-20 match. 80% of the funds are provided by federal funding, 20% is a match provided by the city. This project will take all of the wooden structure that is deteriorating on the downtown boardwalk, remove all of that and replace it with a wood structure framing and a composite decking, and also an aluminum handrail, which should last much longer than this original boardwalk has. It's been in place for well over 20 years. There's portions of it now that are a safety hazard, and portions of it have actually had to be shut down in that area. So this new project that we have should last 30 years plus with the material that we're using. We received 3 bids on the project, as you can see there on the bid tabulation. The low bidder was Mr. Steve Kramer with Kramer Dozier Service. His base bid and alternate bid number 2 came to a grand total of $140,787.31. Would like to ask that the council award this bid to Kramer Dozier Service, contingent upon approval by the Alabama Department of Transportation. And the way this process works is, if the council elects to award this project to Kramer Dozier, these bids will be sent to AlDOT for their review and approval. It usually only takes a few days for them to do. Once they have approved it, I will let Mr. Steve know, and we can pass a resolution awarding it to them. Are there any questions about the project or about the contractors who placed a bid?
What was your estimation of the time to complete?
Time to complete, there's 45 working days in there. I anticipate this going very fast. It's a pretty simple construction process. Removal will be obviously the first step, and they may actually construct this in phases. But I anticipate it being done well within that 45-day period.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Steve, do we need to pass that resolution tonight or after AlDOT?
Russell, did you indicate the resolution is only to be passed after AlDOT approval?
It can be passed prior to, as long as the council is aware that it's contingent upon approval by AlDOT.
So it would be the council's discretion, Mayor.
And the waiting factor, Russell,
Sir?
how long would, you said it would take a few days for the state to come down and inspect, look and see what their synopsis would be on the boardwalk?
No, sir. What'll happen is these bids that we've tabulated, that bid tabulations that Mr. Steve just showed you guys, will be sent to AlDOT. They'll just look over the numbers, look
Okay.
at our recommendation. So far, in 15 years, I've yet to have them come back and not agree with our recommendation or the bid. So it's just a simple formality. They usually just let us know in writing that they approve the bids and concur with our recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 15-03, 23-1, or -3.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Barton, seconded by Councilman Watson to approve resolution number 15-0323-3. Is there any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
The motion passes and resolution number 15-0323-3 is approved.
Do you have any announcements? or comments?
Mayor, I have no announcements of record nor any comments to come from the floor this evening.
Well, you ain't done nothing all evening, have you? Motion to adjourn.
See you.
Yes, I did.